Hey guys, this is Sam. I think this is recording. I'm trying to figure this out here. Okay, it is. All right, so as promised, I said I was going to share about Power Hour, and so I'm going to. And so, the first thing I want to talk about is if you look on our team page, you'll notice that this is actually our group page title is Power Hour. And the reason that I did that was so you guys would know what you would do in that 60 minutes that you were working. And so that was the first thing that I wanted you guys to see on the team page is what the Power Hour activities actually are. But we'll kind of get back to that because first I want to talk about what Power Hour is. And so what questions are going to be answered in this training? We're going to talk about what is Power Hour. Do I have to do the whole Power Hour at once is a question that we see a lot. Do I have to do it every day? And what should I be doing during my Power Hour? And then how do I track what I'm doing and keep track? Because you'll notice as you're doing the consistent behaviors every single day that you're like, oh, who am I talking to and who am I responding to? And because you're going to have all these different conversations going. So it's really important that you track who you're talking to, what you're talking to them about, what their needs are, what their goals are, and keeping track of that information. So takeaways today, we're going to talk about Power Hour do's and don'ts. So what you should be doing in that 60 minutes, what are the core and vital activities that you're going to be focused on, and then tracking and the importance of tracking, which we kind of talked about. And again, I'm going to post this with the PowerPoint as part of it. I'm going to post the PowerPoint as a file because what I want you guys to be able to do is look at these. This is another Team Go-Getters, and this is their normal daily and monthly goals. And so you'll kind of see like the first item is maybe what your Power Hour would look like. And then your goals in that second item would be more, like working out, drinking your Shakeology, inspiring someone. And then monthly, what they're looking to do, like hit Success Club and things like that. So again, this is just a reference. That's not something, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed by what I'm giving you. I want you to take away the simplicity of the Power Hour today. So although there's some different slides and things like that with pictures on them, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. I just want you to focus on the core activities that we're going to talk about today, especially if you're new to the team. So, and if you are new to the team and we haven't met, I'm Samantha Plus. Yes, I did that in the middle of this training. All right, so what is the Power Hour? The Power Hour is a set of amount time that you're working your business and doing the vital behaviors. So it's broken into 20-minute segments. And what that looks like is 20 minutes you're going to spend inviting, 20 minutes you're going to spend following up with people you've already started conversations with, and then 20 minutes is going to be spent on personal development, which personal development is like a book that you're reading. It could be an audio tape. It could be a lot of different things. And there's a whole list of those in the file section of Rising Stars. So that's what the Power Hour is. It's basically a focused amount of time that you're doing vital behaviors and that you're not getting distracted by other things that might be going on in your life, that you've dedicated this time, this small amount, because we're all so busy. Time management is a huge thing for everybody, whether you're a single mom or even if you're not a single mom and you're working. And so, time management is huge. Do I have to do the whole power all at once? No, you don't. You can break the Power Hour up throughout your day. And this is an example, but whatever works for you. So you can really break it up how you want it. Usually I like to do the whole Power Hour all at once. But what I've heard is really good, especially if you have like older children, is if you get up 20 minutes before they go to school and you work 20 minutes then, and then maybe 20 minutes while you're eating lunch, you're following up with some of your messages and things like that. And then maybe 20 minutes after they go to bed, you're spending that time doing it. So or maybe 10-minute intervals works for you, but it's just a matter of being focused on those vital behaviors during that time. So you can break it up throughout the day, and you don't have to do it in a full 60-minute sit down, because I know for some of us that's not possible. So yeah. Next, do I have to do it every day? No, you don't. When you did your getting started call, right, with your upline, that may have been with me, it may have been with Courtney or Cassie, or all of us may have been on that call. And what we asked you was, what days and times do you think you could work your business? The reason we ask you that is because those are the times that you're going to fit in your power hour. So if Monday through Thursday, you're getting up and you're doing your workout, and you're drinking Shakeology, you're getting the kids ready to go to school, or you're getting yourself ready to go to work and they're ready for daycare. And then you get home and you got to cook supper and you got to, do whatever we all do during the week. And trust me, I can relate to it because I feel like that's what it is. Then what you could do, but Saturday and Sunday, you have a little bit more time. The kids might sleep in or they might take naps while you're at home, whatever that is. So that's why we ask that, because you can use that time to work your power hour is when it works for you. So it might not be every day, or maybe you want to so you still want to get your 7 hours in during the week. If you have big goals, like you want to quit your job or things like that, you're going to have to do more power hour. But if you're doing this as more of a hobby, then maybe you only do a couple hours on the weekends, and that's the amount of time that you want to put in. But I will tell you, the amount that you put in is what you get back. So if you put a lot of time into the business, then you're going to get a lot more back as far as people responding and building those relationships and the interest, things like that. So, and like I said, so use that time to schedule in your power hour. And to finish my thought, so if you want to get your whole 7 hours in, maybe that means having somebody watch the kiddos on the weekends, and then you're spending, 2 hours or 3 hours at a time working it. So you can make the power hour fit into your day. That's what's nice about network marketing and MLM, is you can sprinkle it throughout your day if time management is a concern. So power hour do's and don'ts. So here's where we're getting into kind of those vital behaviors of what am I supposed to be doing when I'm actually sitting down at my computer and I'm starting to work my power hour. And so the first thing that you want to do is you want to invite 3 to 5 people to be your friend, and then send them a quick message. So if you're in different Facebook groups, and if you're not, you should be, that you have other interests outside of Beachbody. And so taking those interests and looking at, maybe it's a local sales group, or like I'm into horses, so I'm in some horse groups, whatever it might be kids or a mommy group, and you're inviting 3 to 5 people to be your friend, and then sending them just a quick message like, hey, I noticed you have kids. I have kids too. How old are your kids? Or, hey, we're in the same group. How's it been for you? I did that with a lot of, I'm in a Fitbit group. And so I sent them some things and started a conversation, just building that relationship and continuing to add to your network. And forming is what we call that. And for a lot of people, that might struggle with how to have that conversation and make it about somebody else, form is just a way to help you remember. Like, you can ask about their family, their occupation, what do they do for fun, and the conversation might be very easy, and it might continue to keep going, and it might be stale, and you're like, oh, okay, this is not going to work out. But the point is to reach out and start to build those relationships. And when you do that on Facebook especially, they'll start to see your posts on their news feed when you're even private messaging them, because Facebook has a way of filtering all of that information. So if you're private messaging 3 to 5 people, you're going to your post will start showing up on their news feed. So that's how Facebook kind of works, the short version of that. So you can do that. You want to invite 3 to 5 people to be your friend, and then send out, that message, start to build that relationship. You do want to pre-make, so I usually use that hour to pre-make my timeline posts for Facebook for the following day, so that I can make them meaningful, maybe funny or motivational, and then something Beachbody related. So I don't do everything Beachbody. I don't slam everybody with Beachbody all the time. In fact, lately, even when I'm posting, I don't show a picture of me kissing my Shakeology and be like, oh, Shakeology is so good. You want a little bit of mystery in there. And so, like, I just got my 25-minute workout, and it feels good to be able to get in 25 minutes when I'm such a busy mom. That gets responses too, like, oh, really, 25 minutes? What are you doing for 25 minutes a day? Those kinds of things spark interest without having to be like blasting Beachbody all the time. And a lot of other network marketing companies do this. Like, It Works and Thrive, you'll see a lot of just blasting all the time. Like, we have this for sale, we have that for sale, sell, 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 sell. This business is really about building relationships and creating interest in you and what you're trying to help them with. So it's not always about selling. So pre-make that. What not to do. Don't scroll your news feed. It will suck you in every time. It's a huge time suck and you don't have the time. So don't even do that. And there's actually a way that you can make it so that you can't scroll your news feed or your news feed doesn't show up, but that's a whole other training. Anyway, and don't jump right into inviting. So don't say, hey, how are your kids? Want to join my next group? Get to know them first, because you don't even know what they need. And I just had somebody do this from another company too. They blasted me like, this is a blast. Did you know that we sell this, 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 this? And they message me and I'm like, oh my God, what a turnoff. Like, who wants to buy? I don't even know you. So, making sure that you build that relationship first. And then if they're like, God, I really wish I could lose that last 20 pounds. I've been trying to use my Fitbit. It hasn't been working. Hey, you know what? I'm starting this program. Would you be interested in joining? And it's not always going to be selling something. It might be something free that we offer, like the free 5-day eating group. So keep that in mind. All right, so the other core activities. So we're inviting friends. We've taken time to schedule our posts for the next day. If we've built that relationship, then you can use that time to invite to like our October group. We're doing another 21-day fix group. We do those every month, or a free 5-day eating group. And all that is, hey, I'm doing this. Would you want more information? Never just throw the information, but if you've had a conversation and you're like, hey, you told me you're really struggling with this, I'm offering this. Would you be interested in it? And if they're not, that's fine, but they might be, and they might want more information, and then you offer that. So follow-up is so important. Can't say it enough. Take time to answer your messages. So this is the other thing you should be doing during your power hour. Take time to answer your messages. Read what people are telling you. Make sure that you don't just respond quickly. Like, actually read and figure out what they're trying to tell you, and then keep the conversation going. And when you find that need, like I said, and then you can just offer, like, have you ever considered, if somebody's really wanting more time at home, have you ever considered looking at this business? This might be something for you. Or they're training for a marathon. Have you ever considered doing Insanity? It's, it'll really help with your cardio, and if you're training for a marathon. Have you ever thought about trying? Or I found that 21-day fix has really helped me with my portion control and my struggle with eating the right foods. So look for those needs, and then just, ask the question, have you ever thought? Have you ever considered? I found that this was helpful. And like I said, that could be the free 5-day eating. It could be a coaching opportunity. It could be one of our fitness programs. It could be Beachbody On Demand. It could be a book that you might recommend that, you don't even have, but say, hey, this book really was helpful to me when I was struggling with what you're talking about. So like I said, it doesn't always have to be selling. Relationships come first. And I truly do believe that. And I think our team believes that too. Don't post nothing but Beachbody posts or selling things or stock photos. All of our team, we have amazing transformations on our team. Use our befores and afters. Don't use stock photos. Nobody can relate to that. And you'll see that with a lot of other companies too, but we've had real results on our team. Cassie and Courtney and I've had amazing results. I'm probably missing someone, and I'm sorry, but just keep in mind, Lisa, our upline, has had amazing results. So use those photos like, hey, these are real people. These are from our team. Don't just assume they aren't interested because they didn't respond. So you send a message, and you're like, hey, are you interested? And they're like, yeah, send me more information. And you send some more information, and then crickets. Don't just assume that they read it and they're like, this isn't for me. I don't know if you ever done this, but like sometimes if I'm at work, I see somebody sent me a message, I read it, and then I go back to work and I'm like, I totally forgot to respond to that person. And that happens to people all the time. So what I usually do is just say, hey, I'm just checking back with you. I know you wanted more information and I sent some, so I just wanted to make sure that you got it, and that, if you have more questions, I'm more than willing to talk to you. And then if you still hear crickets, usually I go one more time. All right, last chance, just checking back. What's up? And then if they don't, I just go back to being their friend. Start liking their stuff on Facebook again, commenting, rebuild that relationship again. Because usually 3 times, like 1 time, okay, 2, maybe, I don't know, but 3, probably not. And we don't want to be spamming people. And don't only focus on selling. Take care of the relationship, and when or if there is a need, then we offer that. And then the last part of the Power Hour is personal development. And you can do this in your car via podcast or book on tape or audio. There's a whole list in the file section under the Rising Star page. Oh, my thing decided to do it on its own. Don't assume you are done growing as a person on this team. Ask any of our top coaches, and they will say the same thing. I focus on my personal development. Find your weak areas, and then be curious and find out how to help that. And I hope Courtney doesn't mind me sharing this, but she said that she has a hard time talking to people in person, and she is a whiz, like, with writing things. But, like, actually talking to somebody, she fumbles over her words, and that's very difficult for her. And so she picked up how to influence people. Oh, she might have to comment below, but she picked up a book to help her with that. And where now that's not necessarily my downfall, because I enjoy talking to people, and that's what I do for a living as a social worker. But what I struggle with is confidence, and I let my doubts and fears kind of overcome some things. And then I'm like, well, why would they want to buy this? And I know the products work, but I still get inside my own head. And so I'm reading a book that has to do with building my confidence as a person. And that's something that I need personal development on. So think of what you need help with, and then actively find a way. Even if you weren't doing this business, how wonderful would that be if we all did that? We focus on, oh, maybe this is how I could be better as a person, and then went about trying to change that or educate ourselves about it. So that is the last part of Power Hour. And then we talked about tracking your business, and this is the business activity tracker. There is a link that I'll post again too, but it's in the file section of Rising Stars. It's so important to track what you're doing. And this is just an easy way to kind of look at and set. So you set your goal for the week, and then each day you just tally or keep track of, did I send out my invites? I got my workout in. I did Shakeology. Did I, invite people to the business? Did I invite people to a challenge group? It's just a way to kind of take a look at the data. I know we all love data, but take a look at the data and say, oh, okay, so this was my goal, but I didn't invite a single person. So obviously I'm not working towards my goal. It's a way to keep ourselves accountable for it. And then your master list, if you haven't had one, your master list is just a list of every single person you know. and think outside the zone. So think about, like, people that that know other people that so, like, if I think, okay, Courtney, who do I know from Courtney? All right, I know Cassie, I know Rhonda, I know Tammy. Okay, now from Cassie, who do I know? Okay, I know this person and that person. So just think of that, and then write down names. Just start writing down names, and it'll help you. And you may not invite every single person on your list, but it's just a way to get the list going. And then every time that you're adding those 3 to 5 people at the beginning of your Power Hour, you add them to your list. When they accept your friend request and you've sent them a message, write it down and write that, I sent the message. So there's a lot of ways to track the actual piece. Everybody does it a little bit different because it's going to work different for everybody. So for me, I always track, like, who I contacted, when I contacted them. If they've shared their goals with me, I make sure to write that down. If I've invited them to something and they said not now, maybe next month, I make sure to write that down, and then I check it at the end of every month. So I can post my document, the Excel sheet that I use to track the business. I'll post that and the business activity tracker for you guys to watch or to look at. So this is an example. So all of that is a lot of information. I wanted to break it down because once you're doing it, it's very simple. It's the process of telling you guys what to do and sharing that with you that's difficult. But once you get to sitting down and doing it, so this is an example of what it would look like and what I'm going to do today. So at 8 o'clock, I'm spending 20 minutes. I went to friend suggestions in Facebook. I added 3 new people. I'll add them to my master list, and I send them a, hey, what's up message, like, hey, we're in the same group, kind of what we talked about, to start building a relationship or conversation. Then I'm going to send out 2 invites to friends for the October Fitness Challenge that we're starting with the 21 day. So, hey, it's supposed to be starting. I'm starting an October Health Accountability group. Would you want more information? I've never, ever, ever in the history of my 4 years doing this business had somebody say no. I have always had somebody said, sure, I will, yeah, give me more information. Your next step after that is like, oh, okay, that's awesome. Why are you interested in this? What would some of your goals be if you were to join our group, our health accountability group? What are some of your health and fitness goals? And then that starts that conversation piece. So that's a whole nother training, but that's how you get started. Okay, so I spend 20 minutes doing that. Then I'll spend about 10 minutes just pre-making my post for tomorrow. So something motivational, maybe something about the baby or something that's funny. And then I'm revamping my story a little bit and then and then posting about the October challenge, because this will be the last week that they have to order in order to start that challenge. So I'm going to spend about 10 minutes doing that. Then at 8:30, I'm going to spend 20 minutes following up. So spend 20 minutes following up with the messages, answering questions, sending out the next step if it's appropriate. So if they've responded to, hey, I'm starting that accountability group, would you want more information? And they said yes, then I'm going to start sending them more information, but I'm going to ask them first. Like, I want that conversation to keep going. So I'm going to do that. That's amazing. What are some of your health and fitness goals? What do you struggle with the most? That's always a good question, because for me, I loved working out. That wasn't the struggle. It was the food piece. And so if that's the case, obviously 21 Day Fix is what they're looking for. But maybe they are really good with their nutrition, and maybe they're looking for something fun like kickboxing. Maybe that's combat or turbo fire. Like, what do you like to do when you work out? Asking questions like that, like just, getting to know them. And then at 8:50, I'll do 10 minutes. I'll read Compound Effect, which I aim for about 10 pages a day of some kind of personal development. So that's what an example of like a power hour would look like. So when you're sitting down, and like I said, you can break that up into 20-minute segments or 10-minute segments, whatever works for your schedule. And questions. So after you watch this, which I'm not sure how long it's been, but please post questions in the comment section below where I post this link. So I'll upload this to the YouTube, and then I will post the YouTube link, and then you ask questions in the comment section, and that will kind of lead me to know as a team what's the next training that's going to be the most valuable for you guys. So maybe you listen to this and you're like, okay, but I don't really know how to do this part, or I don't really know how to do that part. And that's perfectly fine. Comment below and post the question, and I will make videos that answer your questions. And keep in mind that, the personal development, there's a ton of trainings in the file section. So if you're having problems, like maybe you get them to the point where they're ready to close, they do want something, but then for whatever reason they're backing out. There's a video on closing. There's a video on objections. There's the podcast at Podcast Addict app that you can download. And then Platinum Edge is the trainings that Christine Dwyer does. And she talks a lot about objections and specifically what to say. So, know where your weaknesses are, where you're struggling, and then actively seek out videos. There's so much training. If it's not in the Rising Star section, it's in the Platinum Dynasty. So in your mind, say, okay, what do I need to know first? Well, I need to know how to invite, and I need to know how to build relationships. So those are the things that I'm going to actively seek out first. And that's fine. So, all right. I hope I wasn't too long-winded, and I will hopefully be able to do that. There we go. So like I said, post your questions in the section below. I will answer them, or I'll create another training based on what people are struggling with. And like I said, like Courtney is really great at this too. Cassie's been on this for a long time. So reach out and talk to your upline too, specifically if you have questions or need things like that. So, and I'm always willing to do 3-way calls. So, all right. Thank you guys, and have a great weekend.